bitch, man. You don't need no help. I'm straight. That man, boy. Fuck wrong with you, homie. Beat your little dude ain't have nothing to do with Trump. Like, you ain't have nothing to do with that Trump. Wanted to go to Mar-a-Lago with me. We said that was some Ray J. They a plug, boy. What? A plug, boy. You don't know me. I be hating that pussy. Man, he, like, you a boost. Man. Like, you want to just go viral. You want to just go viral and when I call the hit him, DM him, and talking about Trump house too. Man, what? That wasn't even bruh house. Come on, you took me to Trump house. Who the fuck you is? Like, this got me out. It got me out of prison. You think I needed you to take me to Trump?
Okay. So he basically just wasn't fond of Ray J even saying anything of the sort. Then basically this went extremely left. Okay. Let me see. All of a sudden it turned into this.
Show is then let's go account to account. Let's go account to account then. Let's back money for money, bank account to bank account. What your bank account made this year? No, he don't want no real fade. You talking about he gonna beat me up, bro? You don't cut it out. And the only reason why this fade or make sense for me, like you a right, you a rapper. And I'm like, well, let's take the fade since you said you're gonna beat me up, since you went all the way left with it. The only thing you really can do is take the fade, like. And what's crazy is like I feel like you gotta win the fight. So in order to win the fight, what you gotta do, you gotta train your body, right? So you getting your body right. So you getting back in shape. You getting your together, right? So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody. And I do that just so this can, you know what I'm saying? Can get back healthy. Oh, they're probably healthy, bro. Like I said, I'm quick to admit if a nigga just type some shit too fast. I don't know. He could be sober every day. You know what I'm saying? just staying silent. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, since he went that big though, because I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't go big, and I talked to the team, and I didn't really go big. I just stressed concerns about a I don't know because the homie Wack and Nori, all these is tied in. These are my friends. So I just, you know what I'm saying? Fuck him no. For real. He want that fade, he can have it. And this is like we can give all the money to a fucking foundation. I'm an R&B singer. The homie that sing or the homie that rap, the homie that sing, you know what I'm saying? I better get my mother beat like a swear to God. And I don't mean like when I say we take a fade, it's just some shit like we ain't got like it ain't no real problem anyway. Like so to take a fade is fun. That's a fun thing to do. And it's not taking it to like some stupid level where it's acting like it's a problem because that don't make no sense. It's all love at the end of the day.
You're not showing the footage, right?
I'm not showing the footage
from Mar-a-Lago.
I gotta get approval from Pastor Scott. If Pastor Scott, if you looking in the live, let me know it's cool to like show some of the stuff at Trump spot. And then if Wack in here, let me know if it's cool. Or if one of Kodak people in here, ain't nothing bad. It's just like stunning and shit, like just doing the most. Can I take a friendly fade with one of y'all?
That'll be fun.
Can I take a friendly fade with you?
Yeah, Ray J clearly missing the days when he used to, have 7 Rolls Royces outside, indoor, outdoor pool. That's when he was running around Vegas with the money team going crazy. According to him, he said he socked out Fabulous. Okay. So, Ray J, he like getting it with these hands. People think of him as the one wish nigga. and the nigga from the reality show for the lower Ray J. But Ray J looked like he's a squabbler, okay? And apparently he was down to catch it with Kodak. You got to realize Kodak got shot in the leg last year. You know what I mean? Kodak looked like he's off like a couple drugs already, which means who knows how his stamina or his heart might be. So I think that's why you got Ray J. You know what I mean? Ray Weather Jr., as I call him. He's trying to get a one in, get a line up a fade with Kodak. I would think Kodak wouldn't take that fade. Okay, Kodak don't look like the type that's built for fades. He looked like he's a shooter. You get what I mean? I think most of these rappers, they look like shooters. Like they don't look like the fade type of guys. Like, let's line it up. Let's knuckle up. They look like shooters, right? Hey, it is what it is. Anyway, coming from the news outlet here, they're basically, in addition to and they're right now, again, if it's maybe it is cocaine, maybe it's not. I'll let you guys know later time. But it says he got arrested in Plantation Wednesday on charges of possession of cocaine and tampering with physical evidence. So this is the other charge, tampering with physical evidence, which probably meant whatever he had, he was trying to hide or like discard of it or some shit like that. You get what I mean? So he called those 2 charges. Now, if it ends up being pills, I'm pretty sure his lawyer is going to come out with some statement. His lawyer that he calls his dad, right? I think it's Bradford Cohen. He's probably going to come out and be like, yo, remember Kodak got shot? He's on painkillers. Oh, he probably had a prescription. You know what I mean? It was like perks or some whatever. You know how a lawyer will try to finesse it. He hasn't said anything about Kodak, but I would imagine he's currently on the way to court to go represent Kodak. Shit. I see why Kodak called this nigga his daddy, because no matter what the fuck is going on or how much trouble he gets in, this guy is always there to try to make sure he gets out. So it is what it is. All right. Hopefully Kodak gets out. And somebody says his mugshot look crazy. I think Yak's mugshot look crazy. Wow. Somebody told me that there's another version of the mugshot on Twitter, and you could see like some white stuff like by his nose. And I'm like, nah, I'm not believing that. I'm not believing that shit. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, this is like a close-up one. Nah, I don't see no white stuff. Hold on. What y'all feeling? Somebody said the girl had Xanax. Somebody said, yo, he got a triple chin. He fluctuates in weight. He goes up, goes down, goes up, go down. Somebody said his lawyer is really good because he's been getting caught up on a lot of shit in probation. Listen, put it like this. And also, here's the thing with Kodak. When you're rich and you get coddled by, like, attorney who probably never tells you, yo, you got to, like, I get it. I could help you get out of all these jams, but you're fucking up. Remember Kodak? Remember Kodak Black in court? He showed up in a pink suit. And at the end of the case, he was like, let me get a candy. Court. This told me all I needed to know about how serious Kodak Black takes him being locked up. Look.
Happy birthday, March 4th. My own birthday, March 12th. Appreciate you. God bless you. You too, sir. Yeah. All right.
Say,
Yeah.
is that Mr. Rowling?
Yes, Your Honor. I was waiting on Mr. Goodman.
I get
Oh,
I get
good
another
morning.
Johnny Rancher.
Good morning. How are you?
Please.
Go ahead.
What we going to do?
I'll take it.
Thank you, Judge. Regalia.
You want them to serve it and take it out of the system?
This told me all I need to know, man. Kodak, this is like another day in the life of Kodak, man. He don't give 2 fucks. You know what I mean? I don't think none of these charges kind of faze him. He knows he's going to go in. He's going to basically say, yo, I didn't know the coke or the crack or whatever the hell was in the car. I didn't know it was there if it was that. If it's something legal but controlled, he's going to be like, oh, it's somebody else. They got a prescription. Or maybe they're going to be like, oh, he does have a prescription. He got shot. It's all type of stuff. So he'll get off and he'll beat this case. But you shouldn't be surprised why he keeps getting locked up, right? When you don't have to take accountability, it's like, who gives a fuck, right? Anyway, Good luck to Kodak, and I do hope he gets out. Definitely don't want to, celebrate him getting locked up. That's our guy. All right, people. Not gonna lie, man. It ain't looking good for Diddy, man. This looks crazy. Okay. Now, a new article. It's actually a letter, a Dear Sean Combs letter. And basically, this is one of the biggest indictments on Diddy that I've seen thus far. This is a third party who doesn't have money to gain, a third party who isn't suing Diddy, but a person who was a fly on the wall, a friend to one of the victims, Cassie, who basically said she saw it for years and she was horrified and terrified by the person Diddy was. She wrote a op-ed, a letter in the through Rolling Stones, and she described in detail why she was so terrified. And she said, hey, one of the things Cassie alleged, one of those nights that he forced her to leave a party to have a freak off on her birthday party, was because I was there and I witnessed what Cassie said happened. And it did happen, no matter if she settled or not. Let me give my account. Now, we all know that Diddy, in one way or another, if he probably paid that 30 million, or some people feel like he paid more, Diddy definitely had.
Are you interested in wholesaling or flipping abandoned homes but don't have time to drive for dollars? With Thatch Leads, you can build an abandoned property lead list in 30 seconds. Enter the city, state, or zip code you want to search and use our filter.
Shield has been broken with Diddy. So, I've heard people say, well, if I had told these stories, no one would believe me back then. Damn, I felt like if I said this before, something would happen to me. I think people look at Diddy as vulnerable, which we kind of got to still parse this with knowing that right now everybody and their mama is going to come and say something about Diddy, which we have to be vigilant to make sure we're trying to fact check as much as we can, even though, some of these stories are so horrifying and they're so long ago, it's hard to fact check, but we got to make sure we're still trying to keep it on the up and up in terms of truthfulness, right? But now is the time that people feel they could really keep it a bean about Diddy. And we're seeing all of his secrets come to the surface. Now, before I read this article, I remember having this. I told you about Diddy's statement that he put out yesterday, right? And the statement was basically, enough is enough. And he said, for the last couple of years, I've sat silently watching people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I didn't do any of the awful things that have been alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth, Sean Diddy Combs. Now, the issue with even this statement in itself is that, yeah, you said people look for a quick payday, but you made the payday quick. You gave Cassie a settlement in 24 hours. Like, once you let people know that you were ATM, if they were going to come forward with stories, of course you're going to have more people come forward with stories. Now, secondly, if you really claim these things never happened, I'm wondering if, in hindsight, he's regretful that he gave a settlement with Cassie, because everything he gave a settlement for is still coming out. More details, more victims. He's losing his companies. People are hesitant to do business with him. So he's getting the ramifications of the Cassie situation, and he supposedly paid her. So don't you think at this point he'd probably be like, man, I shouldn't have gave that bit nothing. You feel me? Catch me in court with this shit, right? Because him paying made him look even crazier guilty, right? So that was his statement then. But of course, now we have an entire article. And it was done by Tiffany Red. I think that's her real name. Yeah, her real name is Tiffany Red. It says Grammy Award or Grammy winning songwriter Tiffany Red describes why she was terrified for her close friend Cassie amid physical and sexual abuse allegations against the music mogul. Okay, what the fuck? Why can't I read any Rolling Stones article on this fucking thing, man? Give me a second, chat. God damn. I can't read it. I don't know. I was able to read on my other computer. Okay, I still got it. Oh, I still got it. All right, man. Hold up. I got it, y'all. Had to go in incognito mode. Called him lacking and shit. Feel me? Yes, sir. Told me I pay for articles. Pay for what, nigga? Anyway. Here we go, people. So, before we even get to this, and I know I keep like going on these tangents, actually, no, let me just read the first paragraph first. Okay, singer-songwriter Tiffany Red has penned an open letter to Sean Combs to corroborate claims of abuse that singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura leveled against the hip-hop mogul in her bombshell abuse lawsuit. In a suit filed in November and settled within a day, Ventura alleged Combs controlled and isolated her, would routinely beat her, and forced her to engage in sexual acts with other men during their years-long relationship. Throughout the filing, Ventura referred to numerous friends, assistants, security guards, and Bad Boy Entertainment employees who allegedly bore witness to some of the abuse. Although Mr. Combs claims or said the lawsuit was riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish his reputation and seeking a payday, Red says she was present the night of Ventura's 29th birthday party in August 2015, where Ventura, that's Cassie, alleged Combs and his security guards cornered and forced her to leave because Diddy wanted her to participate in a freak off with other males. Sick shit, man. This is some sick shit. Red, a Grammy-winning songwriter who has written for Zendaya, Joe Jonas, Jason Derulo, Tamar Braxton, among others, remains a close friend of Cassie. First meeting while working on the singer's never-released second album. On the night of Cassie's party, Red recalls feeling helpless and scared as she watched Combs scream and curse at Cassie. Red says she attempted to intervene on Ventura's behalf when intoxicated and furious, Combs demanded Cassie leave with him. She says she was later disturbed to the core when she says she learned what took place when Combs drove off with Cassie into the night. A representative for Combs referred to a previous statements when contacted by Rolling Stone with a detailed list of questions for comment. Says enough is enough. Combs wrote, for the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. For years, Red has silently supported her friend and even became her manager when Cassie sought to revitalize her career and free herself of Combs professionally in 2019, only for Cassie to learn that her termination deal hinged on a non-disparagement clause. Now, Red is coming forward to tell the trauma of bearing witness to that night and shares her hopes that others will be unburdened in their stories. Here's the letter. Dear Brother Love, I'm stepping forward to recount my experiences as a witness to the events detailed in my friend's Cassandra Ventura, aka Cassie, now settled civil suit against you. I'm breaking my silence, freeing myself from haunted recollections, standing in solidarity with Cassie and standing up for myself. I fear for my safety as her lawsuit alludes to me, but although not by name. I hope that me revealing my identity to the public will afford me some measure of protection. Cassie and I became friends in 2015 while co-writing songs for her album that you never released. We remain close to this very day. I'm one of her friends mentioned in her lawsuit, specifically from the night of her 29th birthday, as detailed in the section labeled, Mr. Combs forced Mrs. Ventura into sex trafficking. Give me 1 second, chat, because we're going to try to pull up the lawsuit yet again. Is it this? Give me 1 second. I want to pull up this lawsuit. So we're just gonna reference the actual lawsuit to see what was actually said. Here we go. Give me 1 second. I'm about to get it right now. Got it right here, people. Okay, y'all good? right here. Okay. So we have to go to the section that says Mr. Combs forces Miss Ventura into sex trafficking. Let's go. Mr. Combs. Make sure I can see it. Mr. Combs. Lures her into a relationship. Exerts control. Becomes violent and abusive. Right here. This is where it is. Okay, let's read the lawsuit, then we'll go back to her letter. Within a few months of beginning a romantic relationship with 40-year-old Mr. Combs, the 22-year-old Miss Ventura felt beholden to his whims and demands. While in New York City, Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Mr. Combs said it would turn him on if he saw Mrs. Ventura with another dick. The first time, Diddy hired a man and brought him to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Mr. Combs, and Ventura wore masks and ingested drugs. Diddy directed Cassie to perform sexual acts with this man while he watched. He masturbated while he directed Cassie and the man to do specific sexual acts. The entire encounter lasted days. Jesus Christ, what type of fucking marathon freak off was this? How many fucking orgasms they was having up in that motherfucking room, nigga? That shit, the stench. The stench. Imagine the stench from the freak off. Woke up in there, all it smelled like schmegma, like booty hole juice, and all type of other. Oh my God. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangements a freak off, aka a FO. He would repeatedly tell Mrs. Ventura at random moments, yo, I need a FO. Jesus Christ. Miss Ventura was expected to facilitate the location and hiring of sex workers. At certain points, Cassie and Mr. Combs' relationship, he would insist on a weekly freak off. It's like a weekly meeting. God damn. Mr. Combs would repeatedly tell her that this practice was our thing, our little secret. Damn. Y'all heard about Victoria's Secret. Have you heard about Diddy's freak off secret? Oh, my sweet Jesus. The freak offs would take place occasionally in hotel suites at the Trump International Hotel, in Columbus Circle, L'Hermitage, Beverly Hills, the London. I guess somebody met him at the London, in LA, and the Intercontinental Century City, Intercontinental Atlanta, the Intercontinental New York City. Okay. I guess he probably had no problem finding a bunch of gay niggas to pull up to Intercontinental Atlanta, right? Anyway, the one hotel in New York and Miami, the Mondrian, or the Mandarin, actually, Oriental Hotel in New York and in Miami, the Fontainebleau Miami Beverly Hills Hotel, and the Shutters on the Beach in Los Angeles. One occasion, around 2013, he had a freak off set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York City, after which he was charged with tens of thousands of dollars in damages by the hotel. Upon information and belief that Combs' security of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice charged by the hotel, Cassie was eventually instructed to use websites to find niggas for the freak offs. He told her to find the niggas with the largest black penis she could ever find. Wow. Sometimes he would pay to fly the nigga with the biggest dick out. God damn it. This is some freak nigga shit, man. Including multiple cities in the United States as well as abroad. He required that Miss Ventura and his staff help him make these arrangements. His assistants would help set up the free costs by including setting up hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. You sit on Diddy's bed, nigga, you just slip right the fuck off, nigga. Imagine going to Diddy's room, nigga. That shit like a slip and slide in that bitch. It's freak off juices and Astroglide, nigga. KY jelly and a bunch of butt lube, nigga. Anal bees are swinging from the rafters. Like, holy shit. What the fuck did Diddy got going on? Astroglide. This nigga was trying to film an onion booty porno or something like that. You know that porno is like, yo, only nigga pornos start where the niggas is oiling up the ass like this. Like, yo, you're watching one of those ghetto pornos where the nigga, like, the first, like, niggas don't know, like, white people porn, they do it like this. Oh, yeah. It's like the girl opening the door. Oh, yeah, I need you to fix my cable. All right, 15 minutes in, he beating her back out on the couch. Cool. They got a little plot to it, this and third, whatever. Cool, right? You know what I mean? Their shit makes sense. Oh, yeah, My cable doesn't work. I get every channel but 69. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden they fucking great. Nigga porno starts. A nigga does dip his head in baby oil and is lathering up the booty, nigga. Like it's just listen. You know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, Mr. Combs always supplied Cassie and the sex worker with copious amount of drugs during the freak-offs. She was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, alcohol, and the same thing. What the fuck? Alcohol in excessive amounts in the freak-offs, and the same thing that Rick Ross was putting in these bitches' drinks in the 90s. Oh, shit. Which allowed her to disassociate from these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids the days after. Okay, let's get to the birthday party. That's what we got to get to. We've read a lot of this stuff before. Jesus Christ, man. Diddy's a creep. Allegedly. That's brother love. She was required to dress up in lingerie for the freak-offs. And since she wore nail polish, to contrast her nails with the skin of the black man, he had to have sex with her. During the freak-offs, he would instruct her to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself. God damn it. This nigga Diddy was walking in the room like he was about to do an oil change, man. Like, yo, bitch, just throw this diesel all over you, man, and then get to work. Suck all 10 of them dicks. Mr. Combs would then instruct her and the sex workers to speak to each other and then tell her where to touch the sex workers. He would say things like, yo, grab that big black dangerlang. Yo, how that big dick feel? Oh, shit. During the freak-offs, in addition to directing it. The nigga was directing pornos and masturbating it. I've always said this is the craziest part about the lawsuit. He's directing it with one hand and whacking off with the other. Multitasking. That's multitasking. Like, yo, I see why this nigga is a billionaire. He could do 5 things at once. He would use his phone. Think about this. He's using his phone, laptop, and a tablet to film. He's directing it and whacking off same time. This nigga is like great. He had to film her having sex with a hired sex worker. He treated the forced encounter as a personal art project. Adjusting the candles. Nah, dim it down a little bit. Okay, right there. Nah. Okay. Well, no, we need a scented candle right there. Okay, bet. And he use the candles for lighting. Imagine Diddy up in the shit like, all right, Cassie, hold on. Put your mouth by his butthole. Okay, got it. While Ms. Ventura quickly deleted any photographs and videos of sex acts if they were taken on her phone, he repeatedly made clear that he retained many of the videos. Okay, all right. Could we get to the part? Damn. Where is it? She was repulsed by his demands, blah, blah. He would present her with lavish gifts prior middle of the freak-offs. Okay, this and third. While kneeling over the toilet, Diddy would shame her into performing for him, eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the encounter. She knew firsthand that telling Diddy she didn't want to engage was going to meet with anger and violence. Okay. Oh, this is what she talking about. Around August 2015, for example, in the middle of a surprise birthday dinner, forecasting her 29th birthday. You imagine, at this point, she's been having free calls for 7 years. She's a 7-year veteran at this point. Combs insisted that she leave the party and go to a hotel for a freak off. When she expressed she didn't want to go, Combs had her cornered by security staff and forced her to leave with him. After this freak off, Combs and Cassie went back to the hotel room that Miss Ventura was staying in, where Cassie was staying in, where some of her friends, I guess that's the girl that's writing the letter, right here, bingo, we found her. We're hanging out. Combs was severely intoxicated. And at one point during the night, he picked up one of her friends like a child. Well, this is when it's mentioned that he dangled somebody off the balcony. Unless this is Wale right here. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, dangled a friend over the balcony like a balcony of the 17th floor hotel suite. Miss Ventura and her friends were scared by Mr. Combs' erratic behavior, but Mrs. Ventura was heavily sedated because of the drugs she took to participate in a freak-off and therefore was unable to respond to his terrifying behavior. Interesting. Okay, let's get back to the letter, people. Let's get this reading going on. Okay, y'all ready? Bingo. Here we go. All right. The weight is heavy as I gather my thoughts to articulate these distressing memories, physical reactions, the surge of heat on my face, sweaty palms, racing heart, the onset of a panic attack serve as a stark reminder of the toll is taken. I am traumatized by you, brother love. The burden of vocalizing these experiences should have never been mine or anyone else's. I met you in person first in 2015 at a surprise party you threw for Cassie's 29th birthday at a hotel in Los Angeles. I was at her old apartment before the party with friends in the Wilshire Quarter condos, right down the street from your home. Rushed by calls from your team about her ETA. We were in a frenzy to get her ready without spoiling the surprise. We all piled into a black car service from her place to the party. We arrived at the area reserved for a party at the hotel, and you popped out singing happy birthday. There were many friends, a few famous faces, and cameras recording as we sang. She was definitely surprised. Eventually, we all started to mingle around the room up until that point. I'd only spoken to you once before on FaceTime with Cassie about songs we were working on together. You approached me and introduced yourself saying, "So, you're the one writing all these songs about me?" I said, "Yes." And you stared back and said, "That means she talking to you, huh?" I was uncomfortable because it seemed like you were talking about the more turbulent parts of your relationship. We did a song called Loyal that you didn't like. We were writing about her pain. In the first verse of that song, she sings, "I don't know what's real. I don't know how to feel." And you keep acting like you don't know what you did did wrong, trying to get me to chill. Since we ain't been together, I've been on some whatever. She was pushing back in that song. You later came back up to me and said you were playing. I didn't believe you. One of your security guards did something similar. I never met him before either. He approached me and said, "I heard a lot about you, Tiffany. You both creep me out." And this interaction was super intimidating. Felt like you both wanted me to know that you knew who I was and you didn't like how close I was to her. Later that evening, after being at the party, since it started that afternoon, Cassie wanted to go to a karaoke spot called Blind Dragon on Sunset Boulevard with some friends. You were not happy about her leaving. I remember your people hovering around us trying to discourage Cassie from leaving, but we went anyway. You followed us and arrived a little bit after we did. It was instantly uncomfortable. You pulled Cassie out of a private karaoke room. She put her head down and went with you. I followed to see if she was okay, but something was off. When I walked out the room, you had her backed into a corner in the hallway outside the door, and your security surrounded you two as you cursed her out with your hands in her face. She and I briefly made eye contact. I felt helpless. She looked afraid and kept looking down at the floor. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. Karaoke was cut short because you wanted her to leave with you. Cassie asked me and two other friends if we'd meet her back at her place and stay the night. She was stopping at her house first to grab a bag and then going with you. I said yes, because I was worried you would hurt her. Prior to this incident, she had confided in me that you were physically abusive. And the way you were in her face that night was alarming to me. I didn't want to leave her alone. When we got back to her house, she kept saying she didn't want to go with you, but you were already on your way to pick her up. One of our friends was packing an overnight bag for her. I'll never forget it. It was the biggest Birkin I've ever seen. Not even Gunna has produced one bigger since. It was blue. I kept asking why. They were packing her stuff if she clearly said she didn't want to go with them. And this person says she always goes. Holy. You arrived at the door and whisked her away. Cassie looked on easy. My bad. I don't know if I can see the whole thing. On easy. I didn't know where you were taking her. Once you left, the person who packed the bag said, "They'll be back. Watch." It was almost like they'd seen this movie before. Holy shit, this is crazy. A few hours later, I was woken up by the screaming. A few hours later, I was woken up by you screaming, "Emotional singing bitch, where are you?" You and Cassie were back. It was around 3 or 4 a.m. When I walked out of her bedroom where I was asleep, you yelled, "Emotional singing bitch." Oh, there you are. I was mortified, humiliated, and scared. I realized you were talking to me. You were visibly intoxicated, and so was Cassie. She appeared sedated and very withdrawn. It was the first time I saw her this way. You started screaming at us, "Tell your girl she wants some birthday dick. I flew all the way from Miami. She gonna get this big black cock." Okay, I didn't say that part. I just made it up. You were visibly angry. that she didn't want that from you. I was terrified. I said, she doesn't want to have sex with you. Oh, she doesn't have to have sex with you. She doesn't want to. You kept screaming, man, she gonna get this bad boy dick. Take that, take that. All I kept thinking was about how before you came to get her, she was sober, and she kept telling us she did not want to go with you. You two left her place in chaos on a golf cart and drove off into the night. We watched you from her balcony, driving towards your house. I thought you were going to get pulled over and go to jail or crash from being so high. It was like a real life scary movie. I was terrified for Cassie, completely traumatized. She later told me you made her have a good old freak off, which Cassie described in her lawsuit as an arrangement where you would make her perform sexual acts on other male sex workers that night. The reason you called me emotional singing bitch was because you were listening to the new songs that we wrote during the freak off. Now, Diddy, you need to stop. So Diddy is being an A&R previewing the demos. So this girl's a writer for Cassie. She wrote some songs basically about Diddy because Cassie vents to her about Diddy, and she got to write some real songs for Cassie. Diddy's whacking off with one hand, directing the freak off with the other hand, recording with his tablet, his phone, and his computer. God damn it. This nigga Diddy is a one-man production crew.
We're gonna build a train so big.
She says, I'm disturbed to my core by this. It makes me think it must have been songs Cassie hadn't recorded yet that were still demos. I can't begin to explain how it makes me feel thinking about my voice playing in the background of that nightmarish freak off. Throughout my time knowing Cassie, I've seen many concerning instances. There were many occasions where I heard you yelling at her and making threats. Observed her so high, I was afraid of her overdosing at a party you threw for her in Malibu. And witnessed you both get IVs after different nights of partying. Additionally, when I was a part of her management team in 2019, a year after she was able to leave you, I saw you try to silence her by attempting to tie a non-disparagement clause to her record deal termination agreement, which felt unjust. With Cassie bravely sharing her story, I'm finally free to share mine. That night of her birthday and so many others are burned in my brain and tormented me since. I feel compelled to show up for Cassie and myself and confirm that everything she described in her complaint about what happened that night is consistent with what I experienced. Cassie and I became close while writing songs together for nearly a decade. One of our friends used to call us Tiffandra. Never could I have imagined that this is how it would turn out.